let's talk anime. Hello and welcome to Brandon's Discuss Anime, a Reckless Amoeba podcast. I am your host, Brandon Horvath, and with me are my co-hosts, Brandon Falinger.
Everybody? I am not a vampire.
I am not a werewolf.
I guess that means Orion is a slime boy?
Maybe?
I'm
Or is he a Frankenstein?
I was about to say I'm not a Frankenstein.
But he is a Frankenstein's monster.
I am. And that's how they get you. The
The
word.
fine print.
So get a lawyer, kids.
And also with us, Ryan Stokely.
Oh.
Quick, bring out the fire.
Oh.
So, did you hear the slightly disappointing anime-related news? Or
No.
I guess in this case, manga-related news.
I don't think I would hear
The
that.
author of the manga with the Guinness record for the most volumes died recently.
Oh no.
What
was that?
manga is this?
Galgo 13.
I have literally never heard of it.
That's crazy.
It is, and I just quickly skimmed it. It's about a assassin and the missions he goes on. It's been running since October 1968.
You'd be surprised.
Wow.
You'd be shocked that he's not tired of it. Like, did he? I assume he took some hiatuses in there at some point.
I am not 100% sure. Let me just pull out a calculator, and that would be 53 years. And what is it on at the time of 608? 608 divided by 12, 50. So, yes, he might have taken some hiatuses in there, but since 68 was about 53 years ago, and it says that it's 50 and a third years worth, so he must have been going pretty strong for all of it.
Did he at least finish it? Like, is it done? Or was it still being produced?
It was still being produced, and he gave his confirmation to, please, continue this after my death. I want this to continue.
I've definitely seen this before.
I don't know if
Like
that's
in
the best
passing.
idea to try to continue it.
Well, if they had, like, story notes and stuff.
Yeah, but those will only go so far, is my point. Like, if there wasn't ever an ending set up, I don't know if it is worth continuing in its current state.
But from what I read about it, it doesn't seem to have an overarching storyline. Like, they seem to be episodic.
I mean, that doesn't mean you can't write an ending for it.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Like, personally, like, if that were me, I would want it to end, right? Like, something can't go on indefinitely because it's only just going to crumble eventually. Like, the quality will degrade, or there will be less and less readers in general, right? I would rather have an ending that ends well, and is, or at the very least, is my own personal choice of ending. One that I have made. I would not want something to continue on indefinitely because it will not keep its quality.
Supposedly, he does have an ending planned before his death, so when they choose to end it, they can go along his ending path.
Okay, all right, then that's fine. I can live with it being done like that.
As I said, it currently has 608 chapters. Wow.
I just don't understand. Like, I read One Piece. I would never ask someone, unless they were well and truly interested in it, to ever read all of One Piece.
Uh,
It's like,
the
damn.
the Tankobon have been released out of order, it seems, because there's 530, 543, 545, so they're not released in full chunk order. I would say there is about 50 chapters to be released in tankobon format, and it is currently on volume 200.
Now that I'm thinking about this, what would be interesting?
What?
Would be if you take a story that you have more or less plotted out, and then tear it up, right? And then throw it around the room, and then you just pick up a part of the story and be like, all right, this is our first episode, and just do that for every single episode after that.
Oh shit, what was the movie that was...
The only ones you keep would probably be the last one. The last one would have to stay last.
So it's kind of like, well, not exactly like this, but Memento, which is a movie told in reverse order.
I mean, you're saying reverse. I'm saying iPod shuffle that shit.
Would it be a mystery?
That would make it even more interesting. I can't. I don't know, because I think making it shuffled like that would be enough of a mystery in and of itself to try and figure out what's going on, and then to actually like piece together what chronologically should be the actual series setup and order of events.
Will there be a definite first episode?
I would say no to the first episode. Definite final episode, though.
Oh.
Because I feel like the final episode would be what wraps most, if not everything, up, right? The first one I feel like would not be... The only thing I would say is like you don't want your first episode to be right before the end, I feel like.
Okay.
It shouldn't be like, say, a 12-episode series. You don't want the first episode in chronological order to be 11. You probably want it... Hell, if we took on Taxi and just tore everything up, actually, that'd be really cool. Just to, like, try to figure out how that works. Because that thing's already a freaking mess to begin with. Imagine if it was shuffled.
And I'm sorry, Wikipedia wasn't fully updated. Volume 202 recently came out.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's interesting that the guy was writing it for so long and was still interested in writing it after almost 50-some years.
I personally don't think I could do that for what was probably a weekly release.
Monthly.
I don't think I could do that for a monthly release that long. I can kind of understand it to a certain degree, because with it being episodic, you could literally just do anything every time. Like, outside of just, is there gravity in your world and shit like that, you could kind of just do whatever. But I don't know. I still feel like it wouldn't be... I feel like it'd be lasting too long, and I would just end it and work on something different.
Okay. So... Rest in peace, Taiko Saito. I've only heard about Goggle 13 recently, and I bet it's super popular since it's been going on for 50 years.
I have to imagine. We'll see if that quality continues, though.
Anything going on with you guys?
Everybody, guys, get your dicks out of your hands. All right? Just slap them out. We don't want those. All right? What you want is a Switch. And what you want in that Switch is some Super Smash. Because we just got the final character announced, and fucking Sora's finally in Smash Bros. Come on, guys.
Are you excited or not?
See, I don't know. Because, like, on one hand, I'm like, it's just another anime Sword Boy in the end, right? Which feels like it's literally every other Smash character at this point. But at the other hand, it's like, it's fucking Sora. It's the one they could actually do and get away with. Like,
if they didn't have so many of the Fire Emblem characters in it, they could do without like 2 or 3 of them.
For sure. Like, I would definitely include
Put other
Byleth from
characters in.
Three Houses, but there are plenty of other ones they could have cut. I'm fine with them bringing back the old ones like Marth and Roy and all that,
Yeah.
and Ike. I would say two Fire Emblem characters in the DLC packs. Byleth obviously would have to be one just because of how good Three Houses did sales wise.
Yeah, they should have had like if they had like Grampy Kong or something or Cranky Kong,
Mm-hmm.
like added other characters from like bigger games.
Not
I know
even just
Fire Emblem's pretty big, but like not in America.
I was gonna say not even just like bigger games, but like just a different variety, really.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think here.
Aren't there like 8 characters or something from Fire Emblem in that
There's
game?
quite a few. We had 3 at minimum. 4, I think. Robin's also a Fire Emblem character, so there's 4. 5 with Byleth, and then I think there are at least 2 or 3 other ones in the DLC,
Like,
or that I'm forgetting about that are already in there. So
Would
you're looking
you
at least 7.
would you have preferred Waluigi?
yes.
I mean,
Waluigi. They could
for
do.
Sora, probably not. For a lot of the other Fire Emblem characters or Sword Boys, yes. Sephiroth is also another one of those that got in that's like, yeah, all right, it's one of those Sword Boys that fine. It makes sense, and it's one of the few that you could get away with,
Yeah.
right? Because he got added in DLC. Like, here's the other thing, too. Here's one of the other interesting bits. I do like this in that the alternate versions of Sora are all different versions of his Kingdom Hearts outfits. So like you have Kingdom Hearts 1 outfit, 2 outfit, 3 outfit, variations of the 2 outfit and the 3 outfit, and then you have like the rubber hose version from when he's in like Steamboat Willie World. I was really hoping he'd have a more interesting final smash because they did show that off. I was hoping that we'd see a couple of other Keyblade wielders in there to like work with him on that final smash, you know?
Mm.
I'm like, oh, you know what would be cool? We see Riku and Kairi pop in to help him out, like set him up and then him lock him away. Or, you know, we'd see Roxas and Ventus, 2 other characters that are like have a pretty large connection to Sora, that would pop in and, you know, set him up for a combo and then do what he normally does in his final smash. Instead, we just get Sora knocking you to the ground, and then he locks you behind a big old set of doors with his Keyblade. In which case, I'm like, but you could have put in some other characters that aren't. Obviously, you can't use Donald, Goofy, or any of the Disney characters. That's a whole other kettle of fish to deal with. Instead, they could have just been like, hey, Square Enix, hey, guys, look, we've already got 2 of them. You've already promised Sora, right? Can we borrow the other ones for the final smash? That'd be really neat. We do kind of get them in the stage, which I'll be honest is kind of generic. Like the stage is a regular single layer platform on the bottom and then one little platform above it.
Mm.
And the stage floats around the Hollow Bastion map from I think Kingdom Hearts 2 when it's being rebuilt. But it does change over into like that whole inner heart stained glass world, and it pops between different stained glasses of each of the characters that are from the series. The ones that Square Enix owns, at least, not the Disney ones. In fact, I don't even think Donald and Goofy or any of the other Disney characters show up in the stained glass in any of those, like even as like little minor circles or anything.
Well, the Mickey emblem was hanging from his Keyblade.
That is still there, and I believe that is specifically a Square Enix thing, whether or not it's a Mickey emblem or not.
Ah.
I think the Keyblade design is a Square Enix owned thing.
Yeah, like they don't even have Toad.
No, well, I mean, oh no, they don't. That's right. He used to be. I think it was like in Melee and Brawl where
Like
Peach
an
would pull
item
him
or
out.
something.
Yeah,
Okay.
Peach would pull him out as a shield. I think they
Like-
stopped that in Ultimate.
What?
They could have. They could
Yeah.
have
It's something else now. I forget what it is.
probably like a turnip or something,
It
or
might
like
be a turnip.
Birdo. They could have put in.
I think Birdo's part of one of the stages.
Yeah. See, that's their cop out way of freaking. They have like 90 of a sword,
Oh,
giant
wonder-
sword weapon guy.
I was gonna say, I wonder if they threw in new assist trophies because I didn't see any of those this time around. I wonder if any of the new Keyblade wielders are in there.
I don't know.
Although I did hear in Project M, which is a Super Smash Brothers Brawl,
Yeah.
like I'm not too sure if it's a hack or if it's its own thing, but I heard
It's a hack version.
So Waluigi just got recently added to that.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
I mean, Waluigi would have been cool.
Like they could have added the main antagonist for Star Fox.
Wolf is already in there. Or are you talking Andros?
Andros.
He's a assist statue, I believe.
Okay. See, but like they could have like not done that.
I don't know how you would implement him though, because he's a giant face with giant hands.
Yeah,
like
but
he'd have to be a boss character, and you couldn't like Alucard or Dracula is.
like Bowser's there.
Yeah, but Bowser's also not a giant head with hands. Bowser's comparably sized to Mario. He's like 2 Marios tall.
Isn't Smash Bros like toys that are fighting technically?
True, but you don't see Master Hand being used as a playable character.
Yeah, because we are Master Hand basically.
You don't see the Rathalos from Monster Hunter being used as that.
But what about yeah, isn't Final Fantasy or Metroid?
What, Ridley?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's shrunk down. Like,
yeah,
he's about the size of Bowser, honestly, maybe a little bit bigger.
So shrink down Andros?
Andros has
I don't know how you'd make him work though. Like, I just can't see a way to make him work or be interesting enough as a playable character.
I mean,
like, I personally would have loved to see just like a generic Monster Hunter in there, right?
Or just somebody from Dragon Quest.
They do. They have Hero. Hero's literally
really?
all of them. Yeah, he's in there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and all the alternate costumes for him are like heroes from multiple Dragon Quest games.
I don't know, dude. If you Google Andros, they got.
He's also at certain points just a brain too.
Yeah, they could do something with that.
I just don't know if they'd be interesting enough. That's where I'm at. Because I mean, like, there's not enough. I don't feel like to work with. Whereas, like, if you would pick them, like, 'cause you have Rathalos as quite literally one of the bosses in that game.
True.
Like, bring in the Hunter. You have literally, like, what? I want to say it's 14 weapon types at this point to work with that you could mix and match for different combos.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be real easy to do.
And they could have added more Donkey Kong characters.
Nobody's gonna say no Donkey Kong. You're friggin' Cranky. Everyone's gonna love Cranky.
Yes, Cranky or freaking Funky.
Oh yeah.
I don't think Funky was only in like one game, but
come on, man. We need the Kong clan. We need Cranky. We need Donkey, and we need Diddy.
Lanky.
And Tiny and
Chunky.
What about Dixie?
Yeah.
Dixie's good.
Dixie, yeah, Dixie.
With her helicopter hair.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the main news. Besides, I forget if we ever mentioned it, but Blizzard is still a thing that's burning down.
Yeah, oh, that reminds me. I totally forgot to like unsubscribe like several months ago. I totally thought I did.
Yeah, that's a thing that's burning down. It makes me happier that I stopped playing Hearthstone a while ago.
Oh.
I still play Battlegrounds sometimes. But,
oh man,
I've been
also
playing New World.
Before jumping off of this, because I do want to hear what that's like. I've heard that the Diablo 2 re-release or the remake or whatever is not good. A bunch of issues, and it's from the sound of it, the gameplay hasn't really changed from 2. Like, really
I would
make
hope
any.
it wouldn't, to be honest.
Yeah, but a lot of it's just like without any of the quality of life in like additions or anything though.
Oh, okay.
Like it feels like you're playing a game from whenever that released.
Mm.
and it's just like, we don't need to have the quality of life adjustments at all. Yeah, I've heard there's been bugs and stuff on that too.
Yeah.
So how's New World? I'm curious. I have heard mixed things about that.
So people still complaining about queues. I've experienced it one time and I had to wait 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't on like a new server, it was on like an original server.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So those people crying are just want to cry about stuff.
I don't know. The one guy I listened to mentioned that he was in a queue. He queued in 3 times during the day, but each time, like, it took the total amount of time he was queued in was more than the time he had played, and that was on the release day, though. So
Yeah, that's like why you shouldn't play MMOs on release day. Or at least if you do, have the expectation that they're never gonna have enough servers.
But you
Or
would think that they would be prepared, because it happens to literally everyone every time.
Yeah.
That they would have enough servers, or
And-
you know.
Yeah, if they had their ear to the ground, they'd understand that. I mean, World of Warcraft still has like millions of people playing it, but they
Mhm.
also lost a bunch of people.
They're
So,
still
like,
hemorrhaging people, from what I've heard.
Yeah, like people are gonna look for a new MMO. But
Most people are falling into Final Fantasy 14.
yeah. Um if anyone knows what Albion is, it's like that except not a isometric camera view.
Okay.
It's a regular thing. There's
First person, or
third person.
oh, okay. So it's just lower down.
Yeah, you can like level literally doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like my nephew, he's just gathered and he's like level 30 and only did like bare minimum quests.
Mm-hmm.
And I am the opposite, where I just did questing and I did gathering because they have like town boards.
Mm-hmm.
You have to upgrade the town, and then the more the town's upgraded, the more quests are available.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just been doing that, and a bunch of different weapons. I've just been going strength and a warhammer.
Okay.
But then I tried PvP today, and I'm only like level 26. And some of the people in the PvP group, it's like separated also by like zones of level.
Mm-hmm.
But for PvP, I mean, people just come back. They're like high level 40s,
Mm-hmm.
just like womping. So I didn't accomplish anything. I did have fun running around in a group of like 30 people.
Yeah.
And then like if you can like lay on the ground and your name doesn't pop up. So you can like have an army of dudes laying in like tall grass
Mm-hmm.
and just pop out. They tried.
Wow.
Dude, it was like guerrilla warfare. We were running in the woods, and all of a sudden, we just see musket fire, and like
God.
we were running like between this mountain pass, like with the wooded in the center. They had like guys set up on either side, and then they tried to flank us. It was nuts.
Okay.
If you're good at dodging and stuff, then you can pretty much PvP with like no health. It's pretty crazy. I didn't hit anyone. I mean, unless it was like a 5v1. I got the swing in. But I tried to run up behind somebody like my level, and as soon as I went to swing, they just shifted it, like they dodged, and then pretty much killed me.
I will bring up one more thing. So there is a YouTube channel who is doing like a co-op Dark Souls run and are inviting people to invade them. So I've been building 2 characters for that. Playframe is the channel. They are doing a co-op Souls run. One guy's super tanky, one guy's a bow/mage build.
Will we see the return of Lady Chinwag?
Oh no, you won't, sadly.
Oh.
Mostly due to the fact that like all the characters that are they've created, because both of the guys that are playing it are named Dan, so they are now called the Dan Hunters that are coming after them.
Oh.
So all the characters' names have Dan in them somewhere. Like my first one is called Dan Hunter Regina. And the other one that I made that I'm still working to get to where they're at is called The Abandoned. So yeah, I've been working a little bit on the side to just buff those characters to the point where these guys are at. They were supposed to have a session tonight, however, I guess that got delayed for some reason. So it'll probably be next Saturday night. So I'll get to probably test them out if I can get in. Problem is, I think they're on the West Coast, if I'm correct, and that means that it's like midnight for me when they're starting up. So there's that.
Okay, time to go on to today's anime, which I incorrectly teased last time.
You jumped the gun on that one.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was like Wednesday, and I'm like, oh yeah, like after we record Disco Elysium, which will be coming to the channel soon, or you can watch it every Wednesday on Steam. I mean Twitch.
I was gonna say what?
Yeah, yeah. But after we go through
Wednesday, 8:30, about 8:30, 9 o'clock, Eastern time, U.S. Eastern time.
yep, more like 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
7:30, 8 o'clock, right in there. That's right. We're starting
Yeah.
earlier than normal.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, and I'm just like, hey,
Plugged.
yeah, I'm gonna watch the anime.
Go check out Viva Gaming. Plugged.
And you're like, we're not doing that until next time. And I'm like, oh crap!
I'm glad you didn't start watching the wrong one.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a good thing I brought it up. That I was going to watch it.
Yeah?
Or else we're like, what?
What are you talking? Did you watch the wrong one?
Oh. Okay, Ryan. Rosario+Vampire.
Oh, why does this sound familiar?
It's not exactly a new one. I think it's like late 2000s, like '09 or something like that. '07, '09.
08 for season 1.
Oh, there we go. I was right in the middle.
Late 08 for season 2.
Well, I guess it's about vampires.
No.
Oh, it's about werewolves.
No.
It's about zombies.
Nah.
The Black Lagoons.
Nah. It's Twilight.
It's Twilight in manga form.
It's actually Twilight plus Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School.
Yeah, kind of, yes. It's a little bit Scooby-Doo in the Ghoul School.
Scooby-Doo. Oh, that's a pup named Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, you're getting your Scooby. There's too many of them to remember.
Yeah.
Don't you mean there's too many?
Oh, God.
Leave.
Yeah, it's Scooby-Doo in the Ghoul School, but minus Scooby and Scrappy.
Wait. What?
It's Shaggy in the Ghoul School, guys. Come on.
Oh, you're talking about this show doesn't have any dogs in it.
There's no actual dogs, no.
All right. Any cats?
Yes?
Yes.
All right. Well, before we get before I ask too many dumb questions, yeah, is this just like, I'm assuming it's just like a school of monsters or something, or a school of vampires that solve mysteries.
Mysteries, not so much. Your first initial guess was probably the closest.
Okay.
School for monsters.
Is it just like I guess it is just Twilight. That's my guess.
Let's do a reverse Twilight, and you're probably closer.
Oh, okay. So there's no humans.
No,
in this school?
no, it's a guy instead of a girl.
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay.
So this guy can't get into high school because in Japan you need to pass exams, and he keeps failing all his exams except
He's too dumb.
his father finds this note that says, "Hey, this school is applying," and
Finds. He literally picks it up after it drops out of some guy's back pocket.
yes,
Some
he
cultist looking dude's back pocket.
yes, he finds it. And it's like, "Hey, you can go to this school." And it's a school for monsters.
Yep. I will also point out, and I will be pointing out probably nearer to the end most of this. The manga is very different from the anime, and much better.
Yeah, according to our mutual friend Tyler, it is far superior.
It is much better.
Of course, Tyler. Are we
Also,
gonna do One Piece eventually?
Maybe. I mean, it would have to be a Take 10 episode because there's no freaking way.
Tyler freaking. I
we'll
went
be-
to get gas one day and he just bombarded me.
Like I said, I will never suggest that somebody ever watch One Piece or read One Piece unless they're really interested.
You got the time? Oh well, if you're a vampire, you definitely.
Yeah, it's true. If you're a vampire, you got plenty of time.
Speaking about One Piece, I know there is a One Piece podcast floating around YouTube, and do you remember Doug L, Ryan?
Doug L.
Yes, I forget his last name. Like he used to work with us.
If I saw him, I'd probably know who he is.
Yeah, but the only reason I knew that podcast existed was he was a guest on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I think something like he knew the people running the podcast, so they had him on for an episode. So there is a One Piece podcast out there.
Interesting. All right. So yeah, he goes to the school. There's a creepy bus driver. I'll also point out that bus driver shows up way more consistently in the manga.
Is he a Frankenstein monster?
Give me 1 second, actually. Let me see if
Big
I can get
man.
you an image. Here we go. Here, I got it. I'll give him a little picture.
He seems
Little
to be
picture poo.
a demon more than anything.
Oh, okay. Does
He also
have
likes to
big-
smoke.
Oh, okay. He looks like Waluigi.
Maybe a little bit.
I was gonna ask if he had big headphones on.
Nope.
The cigar is fine.
He
All-
also speaks very cryptically.
In riddles?
More like in things that people are like, that sounds weird and creepy for some reason.
Oh, interesting. The creator of this is a big fan of Tim Burton.
Oh.
Weird because at least it's definitely not in the anime. There might be a little bit more in the manga. There's a lot less Tim Burton than you'd think.
Oh.
Definitely a lot of creepy atmosphere, so maybe that's where they're getting it from.
Yeah, so this guy is going to a school for monsters, and he's like, "Oh my god, what the hell did I get myself into?"
Oh, he doesn't even realize it at first for like the first episode or two.
Yeah,
He thinks it's fake.
yeah, it's like, "Oh,
Even-
you say you're a vampire? Well, I'm a vampire too." Ha ha ha.
I mean, he quite literally, much like Pokemon in the first season, he gets slammed into by a bike, and the vampire then ends up sucking his blood after like using her handkerchief to clean it off,
Oh, God.
and is like, "Oh my god, the smell! It's so delicious." Munch.
So, does she become his love interest?
Of course.
Oh, and besides being a romantic comedy, supernatural with slight horror elements, this is a harem anime.
So get your panty collecting hands ready.
Wait, what's that mean?
It means you're gonna get a lot of panty shots, and by a lot, I mean like it feels like every 3 minutes or so there's a panty shot.
And harem animes are basically like one guy, multiple love interests.
Okay.
I will also point out that the panty shots aren't anywhere near as obnoxious in the manga. There's plenty of them, don't get me wrong, but they're actually done somewhat tastefully, as this series does not want to do.
Really?
Like, it's more done in the way that this is how physics work, less in the way of like, how can we make a panty shot happen here? How can we just adjust the camera just right? Whereas, from skimming through the manga just to like try and refresh myself, because I had read this maybe like a decade ago, just to refresh myself on like what it was like and seeing that there are drastic differences. From what I remembered and from what I skimmed through, they are done much more tastefully. They're much less obnoxious about it.
Because even Yukari has panty shots, and I'm like, come on, that's a bit too young.
To be fair, they don't actually give us an age, so it's hard to say for certain.
Are there also vampires?
No, they're all different monsters. I believe Mocha, our main girl here, is the only vampire.
There's a succubus,
see.
a witch, a
Oh.
snow fairy, another witch by the end of season 1.
Oh wow, yeah, she's oh boy.
Uh,
11 in season 1.
Oh no.
There you go.
Damn,
I mean,
you
that
guys are on
said-
the list now.
That said, she's also wearing a garter belt because she's got those stockings that kind of clip in there.
Yeah, that's Jeez Louise.
To be fair, other than the panty shots, like her outfit isn't that revealing.
And it's typical, well, kind of typical in some harems to have a little bit on the younger side for one of the girls.
You definitely want to put someone in there for the people that like the flat chests.
And the little sisters.
Don't worry, you'd get that in season 2 when that came up.
Who has a sister?
I believe it's Mocha.
Of course! Of course it's Mocha.
Yep, I'm pretty sure she has a sister. Oh boy, let me see. Yep, it is. Or a cousin. It might be a cousin actually, because they don't share a last name.
And in this case, I mean, in this
There you go, in case you're interested.
In this series, defeat means friendship.
Huh. Why is that?
Because most of the harem starts off as antagonists.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When they get beaten, oh, let's be friends now.
You say friends, rivals in love.
Yeah.
Because we all want the one guy.
So is he like
Oh,
the
yes.
only dude?
No, he's not the only dude. Not in the least. He's just apparently the only one that interests everyone.
Because he's a normie.
Because he's useless. I mean, in Mocha's case, it's literally her first time tasting human blood. So that one you could probably chalk up to just being an addiction if you really wanted to think about it.
Yeah.
The others, not so much. Partly because for most of the anime and much less time in the manga, they're in the dark about him being human. Only Mocha, our vampire, is aware.
Oh shit.
They've also pointed out during there that humans going to this school or finding this school, it shouldn't be possible, one, and two, if they are found, are to be killed. Because monsters humans don't get along as you might expect.
Yeah.
I
I don't want to spoil. Well, you're hearing that, I have already a theory.
Oh, please, go ahead. I'm curious.
So it's only his father that you meet of his parents?
No, you see both of them.
Okay. Or is he like a half-blood, or is he actually like just a full-on?
He is full human.
Okay, so there's not like a parent or a grandparent
Nope.
or something?
Nope.
Okay.
He's not adopted. There's no other parent. He is in fact, fully human.
And did you
Okay.
listen to the English dub, Brandon?
I listened to the subs.
I listened to the dub, and I found Mocha's alternate personality to be a very interesting casting choice. Colleen Clickenbeard, who also voices Android 18.
Oh, cool.
That kind of makes sense for secondary Mocha's cold demeanor. So here's the thing, Orion. Mocha has two personalities. There's one that is very kind and warm, and then there's the one that's very cold, and indifferent toward most people. Apparently, it's the same voice actress for both of them in the Japanese.
Oh.
So the Rosario part of the title is in fact the thing that seals Amoka's vampire powers away for the most part. Like,
Okay.
she's still got some of it, because there's a point where she's like slapping Sukune on the back at one point, and he just flies into a vending machine.
Is it like an item or something that she carries, or is it?
It's
just
literally like a necklace choker.
Okay.
Um,
Like rosary, almost like rosary beads. Is that
no,
what
it is a rosary cross with
Okay.
like a red serpent eye looking gem in the center.
Oh.
And that hangs off of her choker on a chain. So supposedly the only way to remove it is if it's someone that doesn't want to hurt Mocha at all, who can remove that rosary from her choker. And if it does, she goes what is essentially Vampire Super Saiyan, if you want to look at it that way.
An S-class super monster!
The vampire! Oh no! So the second girl we meet after Mocha is Karumu, the succubus,
Ooh.
whose entire plan is, I'm gonna make myself a boy harem, just for me, and I can't have that dirty bitch vampire taking them all from me, just because she's apparently the most cutest looking thing in the world.
I mean,
So
that's kind
she's-
of a succubus job. Succubi. I don't know what the plural is for succubus.
It would be succubi, I believe. I think that's what most places use it as. I do like that that's literally three words just slapped together for a very bad BLO job. Not even collecting payment, just suck you and buy. So yeah, that's her whole plan, and because, this dirty vampire girl has this little boyfriend, we gotta steal her with our, hypnotic charm powers.
Yeah.
Hijinks ensues upon not realizing that it's being charmed, and then realizing it, and then having a fight. And then Rosary comes off, and we get a really crappy transformation sequence that happens every single time. And we get a fight, which literally is just, I'm gonna kick you in the face and that's it.
What did you think of, the narrator?
In what way? Which narrator? Let me put it that way.
The orange flying bat?
I mean, he's a joke that pops up in the manga. I don't hate him.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if you meant the narrator that narrates the whole transformation sequence, in which case I'd have to say you don't need it after the first one or two times.
Yeah!
You don't need the sequence either, because in the manga, it's a quick thing that's 2 panels maybe, and it's not any of what they show there. And she's suddenly in a completely new pose. Whether that's holding Sukune or already launching herself in for a fight. It's literally real quick and not obnoxious.
This fight only took 37 seconds! Whee!
So, she turns into a vampire or something, or just different?
Let me get you an image quick. Here you go. The pink-haired one is the nice personality, and the one without the rosary there, the silver-haired one, is your badass vampire bitch.
Yeah. It's kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh!
Uh-huh. Little bit. Here, this is also our succubus girl, Kurumu, who has the constant joke of her boobs are very large and bouncy.
You would need those as a succubi.
She what was it? So yeah, there's a fight with her and Mocha. Sukune blocks Mocha from like literally killing her. And now Kurubu has decided that yes, in order to keep her species alive, she needs a human, or a male at least, in order to breed and have children. Because all succubi are female.
Yeah.
So she's like, I've decided that this guy, Sukune, is my chosen one. He's going to be my child, my husband, essentially.
Like, there's no, what the heck? Is that a muse? A muse is the male version.
Incubus.
Incubus. That's why I couldn't think of the freaking.
Thank you, Persona. You have taught me these things.
I knew it was one of the bands. That's all.
Oh, by the way, as for the cat that we told you is in this, you've got your teacher.
Cat?
It's a teacher.
Oh, nice.
A cat girl.
Nekonome Sensei.
Oh, man.
You sound
Cute.
depressed.
Man, cat girls.
She really likes fish.
She does.
She high on catnip, like, at all?
No catnip, actually, but she really likes fresh fish from the human world.
So instead of apples, you'd give her a fish head or something?
Probably. She'd probably like that. We meet our little lolly girl. We meet Yukari, who we get a little bit of backstory for. She gets made fun of. She's also... Wow, that is a really tiny image. She's here early because she's a super genius, which this series, at least in the anime, does not show off well.
Okay. So, is that the character that's like the one you were talking about earlier?
Yep, the one that's like 11.
Okay.
Here we go. I got an image for you.
And I'm assuming this is a high school or like a...
Yep, high school.
Okay. She's a witch?
She is a witch.
Okay.
If you couldn't
Also-
tell by the hat.
Also considered like half breeds. This is what you get when you breed with a monster and a human. You get witches.
Oh.
They're supposed to be like the crossbreed of the human world and the monster world.
Are they looked down on for being half-breed or no?
Oh yeah, like they constantly bring up the idea of like humans hate them because witch trials and shit happened,
Yeah.
and that monsters hate them because they got human blood in there.
Oh. Well, human blood is tasty.
For vampires, maybe. I don't know if that changes when you're mixed when you're a mixed
True.
blood like this.
Probably tastes like Flint, Michigan water.
Oh, great! All that iron. Oof. So yeah, she gets attacked by people that are very jealous of her being smart. A bunch of lizard guys. Mocha comes in, have our little pull out the Rosario bullshit, and done. Yukari now is in love with Sukune because Sukune took like a lizard man clawed into the back to protect her. Meanwhile, all the previous times she was interested in Mocha for some reason. She doesn't really explain why.
Yeah.
To the point where like Mocha's walking around and Yukari's like hanging on from the back and holding on to like her boobs.
Ooh, they're so soft.
And all the meantime, you have Kurumu being like, "Oh, great, Mocha's out of the picture. Now I can make him mine." Ooh. Then what? We get. God, I think there's like 1 or 2 episodes between the next girl showing up, right? If
Yeah.
I'm recalling right.
There's a pool episode.
Oh yeah. There's a pool episode. We find out, and I don't know if this is just for comedy's sake or if this is just because the creator was like, I can't use this. I gotta make it simpler. Vampires just hate water in general. Doesn't have to be running water. Doesn't have to be blessed water. They just hate water in general.
Huh.
So yeah,
Although
you
they
can't join the
said,
swimming club.
that Mocha does purify water with like herbs to make it so she could drink it.
Yeah, or I assume bathe. But yes, she does not like fresh water in any way, shape, or form, unless it's been treated like that. Yeah, it's meh. It's a bunch of mermaids sucking people dry, a life force.
Oh, damn.
And Mocha comes in and then jumps in the pool and is all like short-circuiting because apparently that's literally how power works. It just becomes electrical for some reason. Rosary comes off, fights the mermaid
Mermaids.
girl, and just, axe kicks her into the ground, wins, over. Unfortunately, most of the fights are not very interesting. It's like a one-hit kill every time.
Yeah, I would say most of the fights last less than a minute.
That doesn't happen in the manga.
Oh, really?
And it's not always Mocha.
Huh.
There was that one. I forget. I think did we get like the dominatrix teacher in one of these as well, right?
Yes.
She is way too early in the series. Way
Oh.
too early. There is a different teacher problem that happens before this. I'll get into that later because it kind of just blends into a lot of differences, starting with that.
Oh. And there's also this ice witch. Well, not ice witch.
Yukiona or Yukiona or something like that. It's a snow woman, like a snow fairy. Is essentially what she is. She can freely control ice. She's also a shut-in because she hasn't been to school since it started, and this is her first day, and she's super interested in Sukune because after the end of the swimming club shenanigans, they joined the newspaper club. Oh yeah, we also had Geen getting involved in that. I forgot about that.
Oh.
The serial panty peeper.
Who is a werewolf?
Also head of the newspaper club. So, doesn't exactly learn his ways, but learns not to do it around the people that are going to beat the shit out of him if he does it. Tries to set up Sukune. They do miss a point in there that I find interesting in that, like, I believe he literally locked Sukune up in a No, it was the girls. The girls, after he got caught peeping into, like, the dressing room, literally locked him up in a closet somewhere. And, like, tied him up and locked him in there. He had to get out and be brought up to the roof where Mocha was fighting the werewolf by Kurumu. But, yeah, he learns not to peep on the people that are going to beat him up. Still peeps on everyone else and takes pictures.
So, Ryan, who is your favorite girl?
Oh, we haven't even gotten to, like, two of the other ones yet.
Oh.
Like, we got Mizure in here. Like, we just started with her. Our snow fairy.
Who is constantly sucking on a lollipop.
Yes, which is adorable. If I remember right, there's actually a reason for that in the manga.
Oh. Does it have some kind of coolant, or...
I'm pretty sure it's to help regulate body temperature in the heat. I'm pretty sure that's part of it if I'm remembering correctly, but like I said, I skimmed, so... And it's been like 10 years otherwise that I'm looking back at this shit, so... Forgive me for inaccuracies. Should they appear.
Okay.
Her introduction is far different than in the manga.
Oh.
And here's the interesting part. She happens to be the last one to show up.
Oh.
And way later, like, her episode should literally be the last episode in this.
So Ruby shows up earlier?
Yep.
Huh.
The entire season finale happens before Ruby or Mizure show up.
Really?
Uh-huh.
But...
In the original, it's only Kurumu and Yukari that have been brought in so far. And Geen. It's drastically different.
Huh.
And that kind of plays into that missing episode that I mentioned with a different teacher.
Oh.
Well, we'll get into that a little later. For now, the anime makes it play out that Mizure may or may not have frozen a teacher. And, after Sukune has already rejected her and she's very upset because she thought Sukune would be the only person to ever understand her, she's half ready to just kill herself and maybe bring some people with her if once they found her. Then all of a sudden she slips. Sukune grabs her hand. Maybe I shouldn't kill myself. It'd be great if I didn't do that. And her powers are going crazy with ice clones. It's like something you'd see out of Naruto. Mocha transforms, kills the ice clones. Pretty much backhands Mizore in the face and is just like, hey, fucking if you're gonna kill yourself, at least do something first. And then, yay, I'm just gonna be here and kind of be stalkery and shy about everything. I'm the new girl now. Then we get Ruby. Again, there's a lot different in here, too.
Is her master actually alive?
Yes! And is the actual antagonist here. And in fact, Ruby betrays her.
Oh!
A big monster form Ruby takes in this anime, her master does that instead. And in fact, starts trying to absorb Ruby the way that Ruby was absorbing Mocha.
I will have to read the manga now.
It is drastically different. And granted, here's the other interesting bit. You know what they were saying about how humans were trying to come and develop the Sunflower Hill that this takes place at?
Yeah?
It's not develop it. It's turn it into a landfill.
That's far worse.
It's much worse. And in fact, they're threatening a specific city that's trying to do it. And some scenes take place in that city.
Oh.
Whereas in this, it's summer vacation, they're in the human world, and it all takes place on this Sunflower Hill.
That is dumb that the anime just confines it so much.
It not only confines it, it smooths it over, let's just say. We also find out how Ruby came to be with her master, in that her parents were killed by a drunk driver.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
There were also a lot more witches on that hill at some point, but I guess one by one they've been, like, trimmed away by the humans after they've been discovered. Now, over how long a period of time that was, I'm not 100% sure. Because the master says she's been alive learning magic for over 100 years. Which, makes some sense that she would know this supposedly forbidden spell that Ruby would use instead in the anime.
Huh.
As to why a probably 16-year-old girl would know this forbidden magic, who knows? But our witchy master would, after 100 years, it would make sense. Also makes more sense because the master does die there and can't come back to her original form because she dead.
Oh.
Whereas in this one, if you recall, yeah, Ruby does this and she's just fine. It's cool. She's good.
Huh.
That also explains why you don't see Ruby for like an episode or two after that. Because she's not supposed to be there during those episodes, ever.
And is that why Mizure is more of a background character, too?
Also true.
They
do have to force them in there somewhere for that season finale. Which means that they had to, like, kind of rewrite a lot of shit, probably, due to them being there, causing a whole bunch of consistency issues as to, like, but we could just solve problems with this, though, because you're here now.
Oh.
Here's the fun part. We find out, because this is where we start getting into the season finale, we find out that the, oh god, what are they called again?
Security Club.
Yeah, like the security club. Essentially, they're a bunch of corrupt people that supposedly are holding up the laws of the school and are basically like, oh man, we heard that this kid, based on people's testimony, might be a human. We gotta look into this. So, they drag people off from the classroom. Geen at one point warns them not to fuck with the club, just because it's like he's dealt with them before, but he doesn't tell them that. So we have to go in and be like, no, we're going to expose them with our newspaper because they tried to shut us down with this super... Oh, that's right, I forgot about this.
The Super Newspaper Club.
Which doesn't exist in the manga at all. They just straight up get confronted by those guys to begin with. And it's specifically because the prior year, they had to deal with the newspaper club being a problem. In which case... By which, I mean, they probably may or may not have just straight up killed the previous club. with Gin being the only one alive at the end.
So, Orion, what do you think this super newspaper club is?
I don't know, all the nerdy monsters getting together, writing. I don't know. Is it like the yearbook club?
Nope, it's just the newspaper but better. So instead of black and white, it's color. Instead of like two girls passing out the newspaper in maid outfits, they're passing out the newspaper in bikinis, giving off essentially bikini shots and pictures with it.
What the hell?
Just trying to constantly one up the newspaper club, the regular newspaper club.
In order to bring them down. Because
To shut them down.
they are secretly part of the security club.
Yep.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
the one is. The others have kind of been enslaved. Because the one monster's a spider girl and she's injected them with poison that turns them into slaves. Which, goes pretty quick. Mocha transforms, shit gets... Here's the more interesting bit in that fight. Sukune was actually there when that fight starts, and it's not just Kurumu.
Oh.
Like, Sukune's the one that's up in the spider web. Kurumu's stuck to a tree in the manga.
Huh.
And she literally is the one that does the fighting. Mocha, doesn't do much there that time. Kurumu's the one fighting.
Huh.
Not to mention, Kurumu technically has, an entire chapter of backstory that just doesn't get shown here.
Although he doesn't gain any powers in here, does he have any power in the manga?
I'll get to that bit.
Oh!
Don't you worry, I'll get there once we wrap up this season finale.
You have intrigued me, sir.
So, they deal with the Super Newspaper Club. They're out of commission. Now the main Student Council Police Club people are like, alright, fuck this. Now we're gonna have to get our hands dirty. Because they're starting to try and, reveal to everyone what shit pieces we are. They bring in Sukune, Mizore, Kurumu, and Mocha. Get them into the point of being, interrogated? Yeah, interrogated, that's the word. They're all getting interrogated in separate rooms. Sukune's being shown that them being interrogated, including them, splashing water on Mocha, causing her powers to short circuit again. And he's like, I'll tell you! I'll let you know! I am human! Oh!
Aha! We have the confession now!
Just let everyone else go! Cool!
Your friends really weren't being tortured! It was all an illusion!
Except Mocha. Mocha does get to be tortured and may suffer the same fate. Because she was the one that knew you were human and didn't tell anyone. So her guilt is your guilt at this point. And Kroom was all like, oh, they didn't tell me, I'm so mad, even though that they're announcing they're literally going to execute the guy I like. Oh, I'm so mad, I can't help them, that's dumb. Meanwhile, Yukari, who wasn't there, was like, come on, we gotta do something, come on. And Gain's just all like, fuck this, I gotta deal with this shit again. Eventually, they all come in. They fight Mr. Not quite Nine-Tailed Fox. He's a Four-Tailed Fox at this point, but same idea. They all fight him. Sukune nearly dies. Has to get some blood transfused from Mocha in order to just live. And then here's the fun part that's inconsistent. Mocha's trying to fight Mr. Fox Boy, who's in, a hybrid mode, essentially, between fox and human form. And it does nothing. And then all of a sudden, 2 minutes later, when Sukune finally wakes up, she can actually do all the damage she needs to do to kick him out. Don't ask me how that made a difference, because it doesn't make sense. And then, yay! Sukune is the one that is supposedly the one that took out Kuyo, the fox boy. So therefore, he must be a monster. He's not a human. No human could have done that. Yay, Sukune! All the suspicion on you is gone now. End season.
So Ryan, what did you think of that?
How many seasons are there?
There are 2 seasons. The first season is 12 episodes.
Okay.
13 episodes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and we just covered the first.
Okay.
Half-hour episodes.
All right.
Yeah, it might not be the best compared to the manga.
Here, by the way, I didn't actually give a chance to give this to you. Because I was busy trying to run through everything quickly. Here. Here is Mizore, our snow witch, our snow fairy. And then here is Ruby, the older witch, who we didn't get a lot of that's a lot smaller than I first thought. Let me find a better one.
Dang, snow ladies coming through.
I
Here we
think
go.
maybe if Ruby had more backstory to her, I might have
There we
liked
go.
her
Here's a better one.
because I thought she was the cutest out of all the 5.
She's also a heavy masochist.
Maybe I should take that back.
I
Maybe.
mean, the plant vines were kind of a little bit of a giveaway there because she's controlling plants in that episode. But yeah, she didn't get much time to really show off her personality that much.
Maybe I will take that back. Oh, she may be the cutest. But yeah.
You sure you don't want the math teacher?
I would want the homeroom teacher.
You want Nekonome Sensei?
Yes.
I mean, personally, I like Mizore a lot. I love her design. I mean, you know, I don't mind the personality. I'd be into it. You know, after she gets herself kind of fixed.
Yeah.
You know, some sense knocked into her. You know, after that point, I'm all in. I like Mizore. She's my favorite. What about you, Ryan? Out of the 5 main girls, which one catches your eye?
I think the last one you posted.
Oh, Ruby, the masochist?
Yes.
We'll be tortured together.
No, you're gonna torture her.
Oh.
Sadist is the one you're thinking of. Masochist is the one that she wants to be hurt. She wants to be tied up.
Oh. That makes it a little bit more awkward. Nekonome!
Oh boy! Just bring a fish head. You'll be good. I'll bring a popsicle. It'll be fine.
No cones.
If I remember right, there's also a later chapter where Mizore, I think, is getting like a forced marriage at one point.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So, how much do you want to know? How much differences do you want to know? Let's start with the main diverging point. I mean, where things start breaking apart. So, the math teacher episode where it's Alamia, a snake girl, basically. That one is a sadist. There's your sadist. That's the one that you don't want. Sadist snake girl / math teacher. That episode happens far later, for one. Like, that should be after the season finale here. I think it's still before Mizore, but it's actually before Ruby, I think. But it still happens after all the events with the student council shit.
Interesting that they made the episodes out of order.
I would have kept the one I'm about to tell you because this one's really interesting. It's an art teacher in this one. I believe her name is Ishida. Girls really like Ishida. She's a really good art teacher. They get super interested. And the newspaper club is reporting on people having gone missing. Like, girls are disappearing. Mocha decides, oh, right, it's Sukane's birthday. It's coming up. I'm going to get him a present. So she decides to work with Ishida to, you know, improve her art skills and paint a portrait or draw a portrait. I'm not quite sure what the medium is. considering it's, not focused on heavily. It's just kind of somewhat there in the background of Sukune for his birthday. Something real nice. She doesn't tell him that, though, because she wants to keep it a secret. Turns out, Sukune's trying to ask her in the meantime, hey, I want you to be here for my birthday. I want to spend it with you. Either something happens or he can't make himself say it at the time. Some like Yukari or like Kurumu get involved and just shit happens. He can't get alone to ask her to like spend time with him. So he's like, oh man, I guess I gotta interrupt the art thing that she's doing there and just, go in and just ask her there because that's the only chance I'm gonna get. Goes in, nobody's there in the art room, but he hears someone crying and he's like, where's that coming from? And he opens up he's like, sounds like it's coming from this closet, and he opens it up and there's a statue of a girl in there that's literally crying, like a stone statue that is weeping tears.
What the heck?
Well, doesn't get a chance to look at that. Ishida comes in, is all like, hey, whoa, this is my closet. What are you doing looking at this closet? And what's her name? Mocha pops up a little bit later. Is like, Sukune, what are you doing here? Get out of here. You can't be here. Because she's like, I don't want him to see my shit. I don't want him to see the present I'm working on. But Sukune's getting there just like, during this point, and here's a decent enough joke. Sukune, during the point that he's like trying to figure out what Mocha's doing in there, is like, is she being a nude model for others? Why does everyone else get to see what I can't see? And all that fun stuff. Sukune gets shoved out, and then she's like, Ishida looks at Mocha and is like, I'm gonna have to get rid of you now. Because your little friend there saw too much, and you're gonna be a good bait if I get rid of you. He'll come back. So, turns out Ishida is in fact a Medusa girl whose hair turns into snakes, and the venom from the snakes turns people into stone.
Oh.
So, Mocha gets bitten twice. Hand and leg start going to stone. Sukune comes running back in, because he's like, I can't just leave shit off like this. Pulls off the rosary. Pretty much, super vampire Mocha rips apart all of the hair snakes and beats her in with the stone. And as soon as she's beaten, the spell is broken and all the girls are free. This is where we get into the point of the club of student council bastards, because that art teacher's the one that tips them off about Sukune being a human.
Oh.
And her thing is like, I want to kill that motherfucker. He's the reason this shit happened to me. He's the main reason. If he hadn't popped in that day, things could have been going great. So, things go quite a bit differently. Obviously, it's only Gin, Kurumu, and Yukari there, not all 5 girls. Kurumu does not have this breakdown about how she doesn't like the fact that she wasn't trusted this entire time. Instead, Gin is trying to dissuade her, and he's like, she's a human. Would you still help him if he was actually a human? And she just looks at him and is like, of course I would, you idiot. Hell, Gin gets the nickname Baldy, too, which is great, because she keeps making fun of him wearing that headband that he wears that pulls his hair back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all 3 of them go in, and this is where we get the interesting bit.
Okay.
Sukune gets burned in here, much like, he does at the season finale. Mocha does the transfusion. However, she does it on her own and doesn't tell them what's going on. She just does it. The others are there trying to help. Also, I should point out, it may seem very strange that from episode to episode, Sukune's healing really quickly. Turns out it's Yukari giving him medicine. You find that out here. You also find out that Yukari can do fortune telling in a crystal ball. You don't really see that in the anime at all. So yeah, Yukari's been whipping up magic medicine and shit for him. That's how he's been healing. Anyway, they're all fighting. Sukune's off on the side. Mocha's weaker from draining the blood. She doesn't tell them what she did to him, so no one is aware. And while it looks like our good buddy, what's-his-face, Kuyo, is going to take out Mocha, she's doing more damage than she was in the anime, but it's still nowhere near enough. She is drawing blood, but it's not enough to really get anywhere.
Okay.
In this case, when he's about to finally take Mocha down, you get the giant Super Saiyan aura in the background, and it turns out Sukune's got vampire powers now.
Oh, damn.
And even Mocha, when she's mentally narrating to herself, like, there are 3 problems with this. 1, I don't know if it'll even save his life. 2, if it does, I don't know the extent. And 3, it may transform him, and who knows how far it will go.
So is that why he was kind of hovering in the end of episode 13?
Yes, he also has red eyes, if you've noticed in that scene.
Oh, I missed that.
There is a slight hint there about that. So I'm sure that's going to get put in like the second season, like it's going to come around. But in the first season, it is way earlier. And in fact, that shit continues to happen throughout the other sections of this that got reordered.
Huh.
For instance, he fights, he takes out Kuyo, and technically Kuyo at this point is like, fuck, that's not a human. A human would have died in those flames. Fucking Ishida lied to me. Either way, once the fight ends, Moka's like, look, he's not human. That's not a human. But it's fine to stay here now, right, motherfucker? So yeah, Tsukune is still human at that point. Because from what Moka narrates, it's like, he burned through all the magical energy that was in my blood at this point, between the healing and using all that strength to deal with Kuyo.
Mm-hmm.
So she assumes at this point he's human. However, there are points that she gives him blood. For instance, he does that when he saves Mizore. Mizore's difference is that she, instead of freezing the teacher, freezes 2 students, but then thaws them immediately afterwards, realizing that she did so in anger. The teacher runs up on them and takes them out instead.
Oh.
And when she falls over the edge, it's over the edge of that cliff, it's with the teacher, who then becomes a kraken. Turns into the giant squid kraken.
Oh,
Tsukune then gets a transfusion to be half vampire for a couple of seconds to then deal with him. And I will give you this much. Here's another interesting tidbit. That continual process starts degrading his humanity.
Oh.
In more ways than one. I'll give that to you. Also, Brandon, which Mocha do you like more? Do you like the pink hair or the silver hair?
If they could combine with...
No. Let's just say no. Let's just say you have to pick one or the other.
Oh, do I want someone who can aid me in a fight, or someone who will be...
Also, pink-haired Mocha is a very good cook. Not shown in the anime, shown in the manga. If that helps you decide in any way, shape, or form.
Well, I would like someone that likes cooking, so pink hair Mocha.
Good job. She's not real.
What?
That's a fake personality.
What?
Yep. Happens way later in the manga as a reveal, but that's a fake personality.
So the silver hair Mocha is the
real Mocha.
Huh.
Yeah, that rosary spell, that pink-haired Mocha is literally in place because of that spell.
So can silver hair Mocha cook at all?
I have no idea.
Huh.
I do not remember if that ever came up.
Huh.
I figured I'd drop that little bombshell here. May as well.
Interesting.
Now, that there's a chance that may or may not change at some point, but the initial thing is that she's not a real personality. I don't know if the spell makes it take root permanently or whatnot, but it was not a real personality to begin with.
Damn.
Just saying. It's a nice little twist in the gut for those that like the pink-haired one.
Yeah.
She ain't real. In fact, if I recall correctly, I want to say that personality is based more off of Mocha's mother.
Is there a vampire? Oh wait, you didn't read all the way through.
Nope. I can tell you, I think one of the last people they fight is someone called Alucard.
I was just going to ask!
I don't know the background, but I know the name of one of the main villains is Alucard. I don't know if he's the final one or not.
Of course, Alucard.
So why not? It's a vampire thing.
So, Ryan, do you have any interest in reading the manga now that you know it's better?
I probably wouldn't read manga, but I'd toss an episode or 2 on in the background while I play some games.
Gotta collect those panties, man.
Yeah. Sure.
So, anything else to discuss?
That's it.
Okay, so I'm going to
Re-tease again?
I think I actually teased the wrong Disney movie clue now that I'm thinking about it.
Jesus fucking Christ. How? Where did you get that?
No, because I think I did a Alice in Wonderland reference.
Oh boy, I think you did. You did like Down the Rabbit Hole or something.
I
Yes.
don't remember that.
We will follow the oh crap, what was it, like the third star on the left?
Oh, we're not following a yellow brick road? Okay.
Oh.
Maybe both. I haven't.
A yellow brick road to the star on the left. The third star on
Yes.
the left.
Yes. It's the third star on the left. Take a right at the yellow brick road.
It's paved with cheese. Cheddar, specifically.
And horror.
No, that's the grout. The grout is the blood of the innocent that that is smoothed in there.
Yeah, because next week will be a lot more disturbing than this week.
Figured we'd start off light, end off with some blood.
Yes. So, until then, we'll catch everybody later.
Take it easy.
See ya. I'm gonna go drink myself some blood.